I wrote to you in my letter not to associate with the sexually immoral persons, not at all meaning the sexually immoral. I whenever I have people read in Bible studies, read these sections on sexual immorality, the youngest ones in the group will almost always accidentally say sexual immortality, and it's just there for them. It's just the Freudian slip of all Freudian slips. Um, Not at all meaning. So he said, I wrote you in my letter not to associate with sexually immoral persons, not at all meaning the sexually immoral of this world outside us, or the greedy and swindlers or idolaters, since you would then need to go out of the world. Notice how he's portraying life outside the Christian group. This is what you're supposed to expect in Vegas. This is how life goes out in Corinth. But now I'm writing just to clarify, not to associate with anyone who bears the name of brother and sister, who is, and then he gives the list of vices: sexually immoral or greedy or an idolater, reviler, drunkard, or swindler. Don't even eat with such a person. For what have I to do with judging those outside? Are you not judges of those who are inside? God will judge those outside. It's yours, in parentheses, it's yours to drive out the wicked person from among you. Notice the quotation marks here. So Paul is again in that sort of purity mode. Keep the inside of the boundary looking different than the outside of the boundary. We are called to a different thing than the daily life of most Corinthians, right? So he does that, and here he quotes Deuteronomy 17. We're going to flash over to that real quickly. And here you get sort of how are we going to keep contagion from happening. If there is found among you in one of your towns that the Lord your God has given you, this is Deuteronomy 17, a man or a woman who does what is evil in the sight of the Lord your God and transgresses his covenant by going to serve other gods and worshiping them, whether the sun or the moon or any of the host of heaven, which I've forbidden, and if it is reported to you or you hear of it, and you make a thorough inquiry, and the charges prove true that such an abhorrent thing has occurred in Israel, then you shall bring out to your gates that man or that woman who's committed this crime, and you shall stone the man or woman to death. You shall purge the evil from your midst. You see that in Deuteronomy, the logic is the way you purge is to capitally punish. Execution, in Deuteronomy 17, 2-7, execution is Moses's solution to, what's the sin here? Idolatry, right? If there are people in your midst who are worshiping foreign gods, execute them. That's a purge of a different order, isn't it? You see how Paul scales that down, but takes the logic of it and says, we do not want this spreading. So we're going to draw boundaries around our community. And we're going to make certain behaviors sort of deal breakers.